So there's many things in life that I'm good at, many things in life that I'm bad at. But one thing that I'm really, really good at is just self-starting. And even when I speak, you can kind of feel in my voice, like my voice is just, it's like spark, 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 like A, like right in the tone of my voice. You can feel that there's just energy coming out of me that wants to do things. You can feel that there's a resentment to just sitting through life passively and not going after what you want. But it's sort of a weird thing, because if you're to dig into my mind, I'm not coming from a standpoint that I'll be happy when. I'm not coming from a standpoint that, oh, I'll be happy only when I achieve a goal. I don't have that at all. Rather, I believe that there's this bigger game that's being played, and there's bigger reasons that we're here, and those are the things that motivate me, not just me being miserable and then thinking when I get a certain amount of cash or when I meet the right type of person or when I go to a certain place that I'm going to be happy. That's not how I feel. So like I said, in this video series, we're going to be covering versions of that I think are kind of unique to my way of thinking, things that you maybe have never heard before. What is something very unusual that I find to be extremely, extremely motivating? I'm going to tell you a little bit about one of my beliefs. The belief that I have is that at one point we were with God, and we threw a temper tantrum, and we said, "Daddy, I'm leaving. I'm running away from home, Daddy." And heaven is so beautiful that when we ran away, we had to tether ourselves here. And so if you think about it, somebody like, say, a crackhead or a heroin junkie, really, in many ways, I actually view them as more determined to accomplish their goal than somebody who's actually living a beautiful life. Like, if you're actually a heroin junkie, that means, like, you are very, very determined not to live an awesome life. You're like, "I'm staying here, Daddy. I'm staying on runaway mode. I am not coming home. Never," right? And so what do I mean by that? Let me get specific. I believe that what we do is we find ways to tether ourselves. It's like going back home is so beautiful that it's like you're, and you just want to catch me right here, get closer. It's like you're grabbing your hand in here, and you're like grabbing your hand in here, and it's like you're being sucked back, and you're like, "No, I am not going home." You know, like, take your necklace, like tie it in here, tie your shoelaces to it, jam your fingers in it, jam your neck in here. "I'm not going home. My life will not be awesome." Now, why do I say that? Like, what a strange way to lead in. If I was hearing this myself, I would be very, very skeptical of what I'm hearing. So I'm going to elaborate a little bit on why I feel this way. In reality, to live an amazing life is actually way, way, way easier than to live a crappy life. Now, people will say, no, that's not true. The amount of perseverance, how hard it is, the effort, the energy, the focus, that's not really what it is. Realistically, there's about 5 or 10 things that would make your life amazing. It's not thousands. It's 5 or 10. So for example, say that you want to get better at social skills. It's not 50 million different things. It's like, go out regularly, build social momentum, look at yourself and give yourself critical feedback of where you're being weird, add better qualities to yourself, find a follow-up system like social media or a cool invitation to continue the interaction. Wash, rinse, repeat, wash, rinse, repeat, wash, rinse, repeat, wash, rinse, repeat, wash, rinse, repeat. Again. Oh, you're looking at the internet? No, not gonna get you to the goal. Oh, someone's arguing? No, not gonna let you get to the goal. Somebody's gossiping? No, not gonna let you to get to the goal. You see what's going on here? So if you just pick the 5 things, you're gonna smash it. You wanna get rich, just pick the 5 things, you're gonna smash it. Now, obviously, I'm trying to be colorful here, so I'm making it sound somewhat more simple than it is. But even in me doing a sort of thought experiment like that, because really this is me kind of trying to evoke the understanding out of you by kind of playing with your mind a little bit, take you on a little bit of like a sober psychedelic journey here, little odyssey. Even though what I'm saying is obviously a major exaggeration, how much of an exaggeration is it really? How much are you overcomplicating your life? So really what you're doing is that if you were to just get completely present to the moment in a state of joy, and that's what you resonated with, then out of the 10,000 things that you could give your focus and attention to and your time to and give your momentum to, out of all those things, you just wouldn't resonate with them. You wouldn't even say that sucks. You wouldn't resonate with it, right? Like a lot of people say to me, "Owen, how do I do no fap?" Right? That's when you don't, pleasure yourself. And I'm like, how is that even a thing? And they're like, "No, no fap changed my life. I'm not fapping," right? There's all these hilarious videos online where, it's like, I stopped fapping, and then like they grow a beard. I should do that, right? So, or things like, I got to stop playing video games. How do you resist playing video games? And literally my answer is like, if I had a great FAP that was that great, I would be excited. It's just not exciting enough for me to want to do all the time. I make jokes about it a lot. And I joke that I'm like a big fan of it, but it's honestly not exciting enough for me to do that all the time. Like I played, less than 5 video games in my adult life. All 5 of them that I liked, I was actually excited. I was like, wow, I found a video game I like. Largely, it's not exciting enough for me. I don't resonate with that kind of thing. People say to me, how do you avoid gossiping? How do you avoid getting dopamine by trashing other people and saying that you're better than them to feel good about yourself? How do you avoid that? At a certain point, you reach it to where you don't want that anymore. You don't resonate with that. And so it's sad because in many ways, it makes it where it gets a little bit harder to relate to the average person who does want to complain a lot, does want to bicker, does want to fight, wants to waste time. And you're just like, look, you're a crackhead. And you want me to co-enable you in the crackheadery, right? In the heroin junkieism. And understand, crack cocaine or heroin are really not as different as you might think to the various different distractions of life. It's just that crack or heroin are more likely to kill you, and crack and heroin is like the strong medicine for like the really hardcore runaway. Like, I am never coming home, daddy. Now, why am I using heaven as an analogy? What I mean by heaven is that we can live in a hell on earth or a heaven on earth. And you've got to make a decision to, which one of those it is that you want to live in. So see, for me, I've been in enough hell on earth. I've been there, I've done that. And I've kind of like, some people might say like I've like burned away that dharma. I'm done with it. I'm good. Like I don't derive anything from that. I don't get enjoyment from that. I don't get anything out of a dopamine spike for beefing with people or gossiping on people. I don't get a dopamine spike by looking at a TikTok video. I don't get a dopamine spike playing a video game or fapping, even though I'm cool to do that, I guess, here or there. They're empty. They are completely, utterly empty. So what I enjoy is the present energy that I get from being around prosperity. And prosperity could be financial prosperity, but really that's just one ingredient. It's also the kind of prosperity where you have beautiful, incredibly amazing people in your life as friends, intimately, as a network, people who you enjoy spending time with. You're regularly going to places that are beautiful and amazing and inspiring. You're working on maybe a legacy or an intellectual work project that is adding to life. You're having children. It's really just aligning, like almost like that fount, that ever spewing fount of life that comes from source. It is you identifying with that and connecting to that and then wanting to be a part of it. That's what I'm attracted to. And so what happens when you hit that point and that you're not a crackhead anymore is that all of this becomes very, very easy. You will not reject or feel angry towards people that are dragging you down. You will just simply walk away from them. And it's tough. Some of the tougher ones for me, for example, are sometimes I'll meet somebody who's really, really good-hearted, and I love them very much. Could be a significant other, really good heart. But maybe they're still hooked on the crack. Could be the crack of trauma. In my last relationship, I remember a common one was, you're not intimate with me enough, even though we would spend hours looking in each other's eyes and talking. Or, you don't care about me, even though I'm, smashing my head into concrete walls, envisioning how to add value to your life. And so you get somebody that has a good heart and somebody who's a great person in their logical mind. The logical mind, the logical mind is it's almost like this octopus is strangling them and messing with their discernment and ability to see life accurately. And it makes it to where they can't resonate with prosperity. So you'll get it to where you'll be around somebody who's very, very good-hearted, but maybe they're still in the throes of the addiction. And then it's messing with their mind and they can't see what's in front of them. And then ironically, what do they tell you about a drug addict? They say a drug addict has to be allowed to hit rock bottom. And so you consider going, baby, I love you. I'm looking at you, baby. I'll do anything for you. But at a certain point, it doesn't matter how logically they know the correct things, can say the correct things, sound like they're doing the correct things. If they're in that addiction, then when you're out there doing work that could create prosperity, there's going to be these random conflicts that will come up. And if you've removed all stress and friction and created a stress and friction-free life largely, they're going to create things that are subjective, like words like random words like, am I really loved? Or intimacy. And you could have you could have ripped your heart out and put it in this person's body. That's not going to matter. The way they're going to see it is the way they're going to see it because of the drug addiction. And so they're not addicted on actual drugs, but they're addicted on the complaining, the feeling of victimhood, the distraction. And then if you take that same amount of time and say, hey, let's go study sales. Hey, here, read this sales book. Hey, let's go plan a trip to here. Hey, let's go do this fun romantic thing together. They can't see that because they're in the throes of addiction. I've seen this in a very unique way because of, if I'm with somebody, we might be living up in some big mansion. We have a ton of help, so there's not really a lot of responsibility. We're traveling everywhere. We're doing cool things. Everywhere we go, it's positive all around. We've removed the bad stuff. And so even when you get rid of the bad stuff, this is why, again, I'm not waiting for something to come along to be happy. Like, oh, I'll be happy when I get this much money. Even when you have all the money, and even when you have the amazing life and doing all the cool things and traveling everywhere, you can spend 280 days a year on the road traveling. But you still feel miserable because you're in the throes of addiction. And so it doesn't matter what you do for somebody like that. You could give them your heart, you could give them your soul, you could give them the world. They will still feel that you weren't there for them, you don't care about them, and so on and so forth, because these things are subjective. And if you removed all of the objective things to be upset about, they'll find ways to be subjective. And in my case, it could be like, I want you to marry me. And it's like, yeah, but you've got this thing going on. Could we have a month of peace? No. Right? And, why are you asking that? These feelings are valid. It's valid that I feel like this. And look, I mean, there's an argument to say that every feeling is valid, that every drug addiction is valid, that smoking crack is valid, or taking heroin. I'm sure there's many things that you do. But I don't view that as valid personally. I view that as addiction. I actually view that, if I'm being honest, as Satanism or Luciferianism. It's the idea of running away from prosperity, running away from the beauty of life, running away from God, and then literally just trapping yourself, just taking your arms and just kind of trapping yourself in there. No, intimacy, victim, right? Just random things with there's no goalposts. There's no way you can fix it because it's subjective, so you can't fix it. It's always going to be this unfixable thing where no matter what you do, you will never be able to fix. You could spend millions, take a person on the road 280 days a year, stare in their eyes, have long conversations, dinner 5 nights a week. Irrelevant. Not gonna matter. Drug addicts. And you take away one drug addiction, like real drugs, and you get the addiction of victimhood, and you get the addiction of feeling abandoned, and you get the drug addiction of feeling that people are bad and that you can't trust people, and so on and so forth. I've seen that. How do I see this? Because I am in the occupation of making life awesome. So whether it's people that I've worked with or people that I've dated, I see it where I'm like, I will not rest until your life is perfect. Until your life is in the top 0.0001% in the world, not top 1%, no, top 0.1%, something like that. Until you're at that point, I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna keep building and building and building till we have that. But the problem is that the addiction is still there. It's still going on. So it doesn't matter. You can help somebody who's never even attended college to become a multimillionaire. And in their mind, I guess they've watched one too many internet videos that says you don't need college. Like, hey, look, I don't think you need college either, at all. But like the fact that you become a millionaire without college, like that should mean something. But again, it's the victimhood, the problem. It's the majoring in minor things. It's the misweighting bias. It's the parade out there, and all that you can see is the little smears. Like if there's a little smear in this lens, some little smear, not able to see the beautiful view, the Ferris wheel, the city, the ocean, all that is invisible. The smudge, the smudge, the smudge, the smudge, the little thing that you said, that's the drug addiction. So understand that we as people are built. Let's just imagine this, that when you die, your soul will travel to where you resonate. What do you resonate with? So as a way to keep your soul, to keep it moving further and further away from God, what you do, and again, you don't, by the way, the cool thing is, you don't need to share my beliefs to take the analogy, right? And I'm sure there's many crack addict people that'll watch this that'll be like, the God thing, I can't get anything from this, I'm triggered, right? Again, same analogy, you're really proving the point there, because you don't even need to agree with the metaphysical concept behind it, just use it as a basic analogy. As an analogy, what do you resonate with? What do you resonate with? What do you resonate with? If you resonate with things that are positive, you're not going to resonate with thousands of things. Rather, if it's like a pyramid, the top, which is the beautiful part, all the beauty, that's what you resonate with. The beauty is never ultra complicated. The beauty is in finding the core 80-20 that works and double down, triple down, 10x down, 100x down, 1000x down. Okay? Real prosperity is not in doing 1,000 things. It's in studying sales copywriting until you understand how to write multi-million-dollar sales ads. It's in understanding the principles of salesmanship so you can do a video. I've done videos where I put it out and that video makes over $1 million from a video. Understand how to do millions and millions in sales. Understanding how to go and meet people. Just walk up and meet them and bring them into your life. Understanding how to make plans to go see beautiful things. Understanding how to focus on powerful and amazing life-changing books and actually read them from beginning to end, right? The value isn't in seeing a million different internet pages. It's in finding that one incredible book. But if I were to ask you, have you read the Tao Te Ching? The answer is probably no. Have you read the Gospels? The answer is probably no. Have you read the books by the biggest business titans in the world? Answer is probably no. Hey, 'cause there's many of those. Have you read Sales Copywriting by Dan Kennedy or John Carlton? Answer is probably no. You know, you'll watch my videos, the shorter ones. Have you watched the long ones and repeatedly watch them and watch them over and over because I'll put decades of nuance in them? Or are you one of those people that just says, shorter video, please? Why do people say shorter video, please? They say it because they want to be in that drug addiction of a million different things rather than taking a longer video that has decades of gems inside of it. In many of those videos that I would create, I also do what's called a Zen teaching, which is I might teach through energy, or I might teach through sarcasm, or humor, or paradox. That's where the value is. It's not just a funky little tip, but you'd actually have to focus to get it. If somebody's in the crack addiction, they can't resonate with something at a high paradigm, like teaching via energy, or humor, or paradox. You know, things like humor or paradox are actually meant to draw you deeper into the video. They're meant to make you think, because some of these principles are deep enough that if you just plop it out, it's just too easy. The mind doesn't see the value. So you need to give it in paradox or joke or rhythm or things like that. But they can't see that. It's potent. They can't see it. They need the funky little tip, done and done, but then they don't do anything with it anyway. The same person making that complaint is not doing anything. It's not like they found some short video on some other topic and they're killing it. So we want to be finding the best books. We want to be getting around the best people. We want to be having the best social skills. We want to be the best at sales. We want to be the best at vitality. We want to have the best health. You know, in my mind, I want to be able to go into the redwood forest the other day, have a gazillion mosquitoes biting everybody. Everybody's got 50 bites. I've got none. I want to have it to where everybody's, you know, all run down. I haven't had a problem in over a decade. So on and so forth. I want the best. So getting the best and prosperity, it's not about being miserable now and then saying, oh, okay, well then I'll be, you know, I'm miserable now and, you know, it's hard to get motivated to even take action because it sucks so much. It's not like that. You're doing too much. You're trying to maintain 1,000 million different things and you're focused on a million different things and you're resonating with those. And because you resonate with them, your focus is everywhere. It's being stretched rather than just finding that one thing. But, or, you know, or maybe the 5 or 10, like I said. So how do you do that? You change what you resonate with. From there, you know, a lot of people that are in a miserable state, like, well, if I felt good about myself, I wouldn't take action. When I'm happy, I don't take action. No, that's you being in apathy and then meeting those desires of apathy. Basically just like a honey in a honey trap, just getting honey just stuck there. So, you know, you say to yourself, I don't want to be like a honey in a honey trap. If I get all the honey, I'm just a fly. You're not just a fly. So in other words, resonate at a higher level. You will want to take action, but you won't resonate with things that waste your time, people that waste your time, even though you love them and it can rip your heart out to let them go. But at a certain point, why do you think they say in success that you do let people go? Why do you think they say that? You let people go in success because your friends are the people who you're resonating with at the time. The degree of crack addiction, the degree of meth addiction, but to just, I'm a victim and people don't care about me and I'm unloved and I'm abandoned and I'm life sucks and I'm at the effective life and there's all these other people that have it easy and I don't and this person offended me and I'm better than this person so therefore I'm good. Like this weird judgmental subworld of like anything but just getting present and being rich and prosperous and having fun and doing cool things and meeting cool people, like anything but that. So once you resonate with your creator, in my view, but what you might even just call prosperity, you say to yourself, I want to go home. I want to go home. My soul wants to go home. And so that's why I call it Satanism. That's why I call it Luciferianism. When your soul wants to go home, you begin to resonate with that. And when you begin to resonate at that high vibe, and you say, look, I'm here for my mission on earth. It's very, very brief. I'm not living in fear. I value my body. I value my temple insofar that I can finish what I'm here to do. When God calls me home, God calls me home. I'm not in fear. I'm not going to be reckless. I'm safe, but I'm also not in a fear state and easily manipulated by the media and safetyism and all these weird new tricks they're doing that are insane. Like just, we'll avoid even going down that rabbit hole. You should just know. So, and if you don't, I'll tell you anyway at some point. But the point being is not getting hooked on that, but just realizing your body's here as a vessel. You're here to train yourself to resonate at a higher level. You're here to train your mind to receive value, but also to offer value and add value to other people. You're here to make the world better and contribute to it. You're here to align to life and not to just align to taking and death, but aligning to life and contribution, and knowing that really aligning to that means that you're naturally going to move up. But that means that you've got to give up the crack addiction of all the things that have you now. That to me is what endless motivation is all about. And when you have that, you're not sitting there feeling oversatisfied like a fat stuffed pig that doesn't want to move. You're feeling like you just want to see things. You want to see the beauty of life. You want to see God's creation. You want to participate. You want to meet cool people. You want to go to cool places. You want to read cool things. It's just something you'll naturally do. It won't be hard. You'll do it naturally and easily. So I hope this makes sense. I want you to click the link below if you want to learn more. We're going to be making a program about this called Endless Motivation. I had a beta version that I created about a half a year ago, maybe a year ago. People loved it. People went crazy for it. Just a simple beta version. It was actually sold privately. It sold huge. People loved it. And I'm going to build a whole movement around this. And I'm going to update this thing. Click the link below if you want to hear more about it. Endless motivation and what it means to really, really not just build a life of your dreams, but to want to, and for it to be easy, and for you to resonate with it, and to give you the exact tools to do it. This idea here is a very abstract one, but we're also going to be going very, very much into step by step. So I hope that you enjoyed the video, and I hope that you'll commit to moving up, to getting out of the crack addiction, getting out of that heroin addiction of life, and seeing things a little bit of a different way. Whether or not you take the thought experiment as literal or as an analogy, it doesn't matter, it's equally effective. But it's ultimately only effective if you act upon it. So that is what I wish for you, and I'll be back with more soon. Peace.